Welcome to the deep dive. We take intriguing sources you send us and, well, we unpack them.
We certainly do.
Today, it's this really mysterious discovery. A box found in a dumpster.
Right, just discarded.
But not just any old box. It looked handmade, old, had locks, seemed like it had seen some use. But it's what was inside, that's where things get.
Absolutely.
Well, you get more questions than answers, really.
Absolutely. So our mission for this deep dive is essentially to walk through the contents. Pretty bizarre stuff. Cryptic notes, these unsettling drawings. We want to explore what it all could mean.
Yeah.
We'll look at the clues, think about the possibilities, even the really extraordinary ones.
Okay, let's get into it then. The box itself, maybe not much to look at, but the contents.
Wow.
First off, there's this handwritten letter. It hints at an otherworldly experience.
Okay.
And it specifically mentions a photo taken in Santos, Brazil, way back in 1967 by an American tourist.
Santos, Brazil, 67.
And the letter actually says that APRO, the Aerial Phenomenon Research Organization, looked into this photograph.
Now that's interesting, APRO.
Right.
Yeah, because they were a pretty serious group back then, investigating UFOs and aerial phenomena, not just fringe stuff.
So their involvement, it kind of elevates it.
It definitely does. It means whatever was in that photo, or claimed to be, was weird enough to catch the eye of actual investigators. It suggests, this isn't just someone's random story. It had some detail maybe that made APRO take notice. Gives it a bit more weight.
Okay. And then things get even stranger. There's a hand-drawn periodic table of elements.
Hand-drawn, not like a printed chart.
No, definitely drawn by hand. It's purpose, no idea. But then there are these incredibly detailed technical drawings.
Technical drawings, like blueprints.
Exactly. They look just like patents, dated 1939.
1939, wow.
But here's the thing. They were never filed. Not with the U.S. Patent Office anyway. All this work, this precision, just tossed.
That's really perplexing, isn't it? Why go to all that trouble? Patent-level detail from 1939.
Yeah.
And then it just ends up in a dumpster. It makes you think maybe someone gave up. Or, I don't know, maybe they were working completely outside the system.
Forgotten genius, perhaps.
Could be. The skill involved suggests a pretty capable mind.
And maps. We can't forget the maps. There was an old air travel map, like from 1903, showing early flight routes.
Okay, historical context.
But also several hand-drawn maps. One had this strange center marked on it. Another seemed to show aerial patterns or routes of some kind.
Navigation again. Like the Brazil photo connection.
And there was this really odd circular note, too. You had to spin it to read it, like some kind of cipher.
Oh.
Plus a small piece of paper, like note paper from a Veterans Administration Medical Center.
Okay, the VA note. That's grounding. It brings it back to a real person, maybe. Someone with a history.
Right. Amidst all the strangeness.
Yeah, these items, the maps, that circular note, it points to someone really focused on maybe hidden paths. Or just processing information in a very unique way.
And that kind of leads us to maybe the most unsettling stuff in the box.
Okay, what's that?
Notes describing an event. In Tampa, Florida, 1977, the artist specifically calls it extraterrestrial in nature.
1977, Tampa. Extraterrestrial.
Okay. And the drawings that go with these notes, they're pretty captivating. A bit creepy, honestly.
Like what?
Well, one shows a UFO pretty clearly, and these figures, described as angelic creatures.
UFOs and angels, together.
Yeah. Another drawing has a UFO, but with two trains underneath it.
Trains. Okay, that's different.
But the most striking ones, really, are these detailed drawings of an entity or alien creature.
Yeah.
And it looks incredibly similar to descriptions from the book of Ezekiel in the Bible.
You mean the wheels within wheels?
Exactly. Wheels within wheels, wings full of eyes, creatures with four faces, man, ox, eagle, lion, all those classic Ezekiel descriptions.
Wow. So the artist is drawing that in connection with a 1977 UFO event.
Seems like it. They seem almost fixated on this creature. Multiple drawings, signed, dated, blending biblical visions with, aliens.
That's profound, isn't it?
Yeah.
Mixing these ancient, almost religious visions with modern UFO stuff.
It really is.
It forces you to think about how people interpret strange experiences.
Yeah.
Did they really see something, or is their mind pulling from, like, deep cultural symbols to explain it?
Like archetypes.
Yeah, exactly. Whether it came from outside or inside, these are clearly intense, personal visions being documented here.
So after all that, what do we make of it? This box just leaves you hanging with so many questions. Was this person documenting a real encounter? Maybe something beyond our usual understanding, a vision?
Or was it all just imagination? An incredibly creative, maybe obsessive mind building this whole world on paper.
Yeah.
And the truth is, unless we could find the artist, ask them.
Yeah.
We're probably never going to know for sure.
Which is kind of frustrating.
It is. But just finding something like this whole intricate collection just found by chance in a dumpster, that in itself is pretty amazing.
It really makes you think about curiosity, doesn't it? How drawn we are to the unknown.
Definitely.
What would you even do if you stumbled across this? How do you fit these really intense personal visions into what we think of as, reality?
That's the big question, isn't it? How do we reconcile it? What's real and what's possible? Lots to think about there.